All right, let's rock and roll. It's the AK Roundtable. It's January 10th, 2024, and I am super excited to be here. I'm your host, Judd Burdon, here tonight, and we've got all kinds of great coaches, great people, great customers, as well as people that are looking at possibly getting involved with the pavement asset management industry. So super excited to drop a bunch of value here tonight. My co-host will be the main man himself right here, Mr. Matthias. He will be helping out. He'll be in the chat, dropping links, dropping some value bombs along with the coaches. And so please don't hesitate to actually ask any questions in the chat area as we're going through this. In addition, we do have the reactions button down at the bottom. Reactions work awesome for raising a hand, and as we have 27 people live, we'll probably end up with 40 people. It's a lot easier with the reactions to control the control the AK Roundtable in here tonight to get the most out of it. So I'm excited to rock into this thing. And before we get started, actually, Skylar's going to take us off, believe it or not. He doesn't know, but he's going to take us off tonight and get the party started with some action. How do we usually get started, Skylar, in our meetings? What do we do, man?
We need to get this energy up, guys. We're going to have to stand up. We're going to do 10 to the left, 10 to the right, 10 overhead.
Right. Count down, bro. Let's go.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Left first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice. Thank you, Scott. That was
Kill it,
awesome,
guys.
man. You're wearing the sweatshirt for it tonight too, I see. That's great. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Just got back from the gym, so I was warmed up.
Making it happen, working on the best version of yourself, bud.
Yes, sir. Day 11.
Day 11, 75 hard?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Day 11.
Cool. Looking forward to talking more about that as the meeting goes on here. But let's dig in. So I will say this quick newsflash that I want to share. A lot of you already know this. A lot of you are already coming, which I'm super stoked about. Raise your hand if you're coming to Tampa Bay, January 22nd, 2024. All right, we've got a lot of people that are coming. We have a lot of people that are not on right now that are coming. We've got over 75 people signed up right now to the AK Roundup event, Tampa Bay, January 22nd, 2024, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. We've got Lee Lois actually is going to be attending this event as well. He's been in the industry for 50 years, 50. He was the former president of Gem Seal. He's with Sealmaster now, but he's he actually celebrated our 20th business anniversary down here in Anguilla. He's a dear friend of mine and just one of the most knowledgeable, humble, cool guys that you'll ever meet. So I asked him if he would come, and he said yes, he's going to come. So get ready to get some great value drop from him as well at that event. We have all of our coaches that are coming in, which is just absolutely incredible. I'll be there presenting a lot of the framework that I use to coach clients into multiple 7-figure businesses, and I'll be dropping a lot of that framework with you all there as well. Do know that on the 23rd, the day later, there is the National Pavement Expo in Tampa. Registration night's on the 23rd. We will be on the floor on the 24th at the NPE. And then on the 25th, we will be off on our merry way. And then I'm traveling on the 26th. But it would just be awesome to be able to be there. If I were you, I would come in on the 22nd morning or the 21st night and be there through the 22nd. Spend some great time with everyone on the 23rd who's attending the roundup, because I know people are extending their stay. You'd be able to do a lot of networking, learn from each other, and really make the most out of the time, and then roll in hot to the NPE, prepped, and of course, wearing AK hats too. We'll be making sure to share your AK hats as well that you can certainly take advantage of wearing. So looking forward to that. If you have not registered, you will want to do that. There's going to be a link that Matthias is going to drop in the chat there, and you'll register right there. It only takes a few minutes to sign up, but please, if you're going to register, please don't register and not commit to it, because there is limited space to the event. So if you are registering, 1, 2, 3 people that are going to come, just make sure that you are coming. And if you're not, please let somebody know at Asphalt Kingdom that you won't be coming if you do register and you won't be coming, because we want to open up those seats. So appreciate the respect on that. Cool. We're going to dive into the very beginning of the meeting. We always do this by, of course, pumping this meeting up with some wins. So let's go through with some wins since last week, last AK roundtable. Anybody have any wins that they want to put up from a reactions perspective? I know personally that there are wins going on because I get messaged from some of you. And so if you do have some wins, please do share it. I know that Evan and Nick do have a win because I actually saw a video while in the cab of a truck, I believe, doing something there. So it'd be good to hear about that experience with Coach Anthony as well as time goes on here. So let's do this. Chris, you've got your hand up, man. What's the win, brother? Tell us.
Well, we're marketing ourselves. So we've done that part. And I locked in 4 parking lots for mid-February and March, big ones. So looking to make about probably 25 or 30,000 in the next month and a half. So I'm happy about that.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, and it's only just the start. So it's really just because of that tank. Really, that tank's a seller, man. If you guys ain't got one, you better get one, because that's an image seller right there. I mean, people see that tank on the back of a nice trailer, they're like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's doing." So definitely get you one. Thanks for the equipment,
that's
man.
Your Airboss, brother. That's the Airboss 300.
I got the Airboss 3. I got the Airboss 300. Yeah.
Congrats, man. I'm super excited about that. And so last week when we were on the roundtable, had you closed those deals, or were they in progress yet? Or is this literally in the last week you've closed those 3 deals that amount to 25 to 30 grand?
I closed the deal for February, set up for 8,000, and that was just yesterday. And then 2 days ago, prior to that, I locked in with another contractor that wants to have me come out and estimate his 2 parking lots. And then if he likes my quote, I'll be locked in forever. And it's through a good friend of mine. So he's another contractor. I should be able to get it. I'm confident enough.
Cool, brother. I am super stoked for you, man, and keep that pressure on. By the way, like the way that you show up branded and the way that you show up with the energy and everything, this is where when we talk about inevitable success, man, I say, it's people and then processes and systems, man. And so that the people that operate in that upper echelon of mindset and, the way we market ourselves, the way that we communicate, the positivity, the light, the belief in what it is that we're doing and trusting what we know is real, aligned with processes and systems, you just smoke that. So it's just awesome, man. Super excited for you, buddy.
It's only the beginning, thanks to AK's equipment. So woo!
Cool, brother, man. All right, let's keep rocking. Jeanette, what's happening? Happy New Year.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm so nervous. And when I get eased off and comfortable, and then I get nervous. I just bid on a $487,000 job.
I'd be nervous too.
It's a lot. My hands get sweaty just talking about it. I got good news though. Bosch, we got that done right before Christmas, and they actually called us back. I got an email today or yesterday, and they're wanting us to do more striping. They're wanting to do additional striping, so that was pretty cool. I like that. And I got another call today. We just did like 6 potholes and like 4 bollards at this facility in Bowling Springs, and she called me. She was like, "This place is flooding. The water is just coming into the building through underneath the doors. We think there's going to need some grading and asphalt repairs. So can you come back out and take a look at it?" I said, "Sure." So we're going to go back out there tomorrow and look at it. I like repeat customers, and I like establishing those connections, because it makes me feel good that, you know, we did something right, and they're going to keep calling us. So I like that about it. And came in kind of strong this year. We're still working on the mall job, and we have a striping crew. Finally, Chuck listened to, I think it was Anthony, and just like, you know, and you, Judd, and he was, you know, you have to trust people, and he is gaining that trust. We actually have two guys that we have trained up to be able to lead crews and restriping wise and crack fill. And he's turned them loose on this mall job, and they have it almost completed. And that's pretty big for Chuck to put his trust in that. Of course, we go by and check on them and stuff, but they're doing really, really good. Really good. Came in on the 2nd of this year, because the first, all the asphalt plants were down. So we came in the 2nd and did an asphalt job. Hired a sales guy. I'm very excited about that. He's already started working on it. He's an experienced estimator. So kind of funny backstory. After Chuck quit his other job where he was working at the other asphalt company, the estimator, the owner ended up messing up the guy's pay, and he was like, I'm not working for you no more. He called us. So I feel bad. In a way, I feel bad, because he's like, I'm bringing all my clients with me. I'm like, okay. So in a way, I feel bad, but I mean, in a way, I don't, because he kind of did it to himself. So I mean, but it's good to have. It's good for someone in the business to have a client relationship like that, to where your clients aren't just going to stick with that company; they will follow you. Sorry, I got a puppy for Christmas.
Good for you. Good for you. This is all exciting. You want to know something? I'll tell you what, when you said your palms are sweaty, I heard that, right?
Yes,
And let me tell you, look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it, or would you just let it go? Because I know your palms are going to get sweaty. Your knees are weak and heavy. But when you actually commit yourself to following through with the process, and you believe with conviction that you can make it happen, guess what?
Dun, 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 dun. Should I go ahead and do the 8 Mile background on that one?
Did you like that one? You liked that one, didn't you? I saw that, brother. That was it, man. Oh, what's happening? You like that?
I'm sorry.
How good was that? How was the timing on that, bro? Everybody like that one? Come on, for real. You like that one? That was good,
that's
right?
my theme song when I'm riding out.
Drop a beat, bro.
Hey, listen, a lot of people know this, right? Like when I was first starting out, guys, I registered that domain name, and I remember that song playing, and I was just like bobbing my head. I got one shot, one opportunity. I just sold my asphalt maintenance company, Imperial. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do next? And I'm like, I'm going to build a website. And I started listening to that. I was just pounding content. I had a punching bag in the background. Every time I felt like quitting, I would go box the punching bag and listen to that song on repeat. But it was really, look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it go? And I felt like I had to do that. Now look at us all on here, guys. Look at us. This is awesome. Cool. Look at everybody crushing it, man. Seizing the opportunities. Don't let it go. This is special stuff, man. Jeanette, I'm so excited for you. So excited for you.
I am too. I hope I get this job. I think I'm going to get it. I've been talking to the guy. We're subbing it out, of course, and you know, I make a percentage off of it. But and the guy that we're subbing it out to, we have a great relationship with him. He does all of our paving, and he said it. You know, if you want me to talk to him, just have him call me, and he's a good talker. So we got this. I've been praying.
So you don't think you're gonna get it. You don't hope you're gonna get it. You are gonna get it.
Yes, I'm claiming it. We're gonna get it. He's already told me that he's shopping around, and he doesn't want to go with the lowest. He doesn't want to go with the highest. I said, well, you want to go with the best quality work, and if you want the best quality work, our company is the way to go. Cause
And the coolest, you're the coolest too.
we try to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're fun. You make people smile. You make people happy. It's fun to do business with people, right? That's doing business with people you know, like, and trust is the best.
Yes.
I made a post this morning I made a post on Facebook this morning. It's like, man, I really desire to be doing business with people that want to do business with me, that are excited about doing that. I want to be, you know what I mean? Let's have fun with this and make people smile and enjoy that relationship. Remember, CARE, the acronym CARE, what does it stand for, Jeanette?
Don't remember.
Anybody? Anybody?
Create a remarkable
experience.
experience.
Create a remarkable experience. The acronym CARE, create a remarkable experience, and people will love that. Jeanette, I'm stoked for all your success. Let's keep powering forward. 2024 is going to be out of the park. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Cool. Let's go. Nick, Evan, let's go. Tell us all about it, man. All the
What's
wins,
going on,
boys.
guys?
Let's go.
All right. So last week, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So last week, you know, we were just up to our normal business, going chasing jobs and getting after it. And I got the call from Anthony that he was in town, and he came out. I put him in uniform, and I actually sent Nick out for his first time all alone the day before Anthony came over here. And so Nick and Anthony ended up going out and crushing it that following day. And my God, he came back with, you know, with more answers than he's ever been able to come back with. And, you know, he's just been crushing it ever since.
Crushing. We like that.
You guys are out there
Anthony.
doing it.
Oh my God, we put out
guys are out there
4
doing
times the amount of proposals this week than we have.
Supporting you.
We're not sure where Anthony is on planet
there a
Earth.
big
He
delay?
could be in the middle of a safari in Africa, driving in one of those Jeeps with the open tops with lions all around him and
We're
zebras. We
climbing a
wouldn't know
mountain.
where he is. It's awesome, man. Yeah, so
Seems
you
like
guys are
every
crushing it. I
Wednesday
know
those
Anthony.
guys are out of the country.
Yeah, they're rocking it, man. So
I love it.
Anthony, I told you have to pump out the proposals. Is that what he told you? Yeah. We're going to talk about that, guys. We're going to talk about
That's
that.
what I said. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Is there a big delay?
Big delay.
So anyways, yeah, I had him and Anthony going out there crushing it. And in the past week, we've put out well over $100,000 in proposals. So, you know, before here, we weren't getting in touch with decision makers. And, you know, the past week, we've been in touch with nothing but decision makers.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. And you want to know something? It all starts with this. You ready for this, guys? You ready for what the deal pipeline looks like? You ready for this? I want you to think of, you know, like Typhoon Lagoon. You guys know like any water parks? Raise your hand if you've seen a water park with a wave pool.
Yep.
All right, cool. Check this out, everyone. All right. Watch my hands. You know the big metal thing at the front of the wave pool that pushes the water? You know what I'm talking about, right? You create the momentum. That is the wave pool. You guys, as you're going through this process of building your deal pipeline, it's really, really important that you understand your stages that you're driving through. So you have to go through your prospect stage to a lead stage, a marketing qualified lead stage, a sales qualified lead stage, an opportunity, a pavement assessment, a quote, a closed won, closed lost, invoice, work order, job completion, invoice to collected or goes to collections, and then nurturing. What I just said right there, you're going to want to watch this recording probably like 5 times if you already don't know your deal pipeline, and you're going to want to lay that out because you haven't had a lot of time. our coaches, like when we're coaching this kind of stuff, it's very important that you dive into that and understand what these different stages mean from a deal life cycle stage perspective. Evan and Nick, let me tell you this. If you have a prospect list, that's a prospect list, a cold list that exists, can you close business without doing anything with that prospect list? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, cool. But if you go bring that to a sales qualified stage where you actually call them and you communicate with them and you start to engage communication, do you have a better chance of closing that deal?
100%.
So now that you've communicated with them and you book an appointment for a pavement assessment to go and look at their pavement and actually review it, is it more likely to close when you go to that appointment physically with them and do an assessment?
Without a doubt.
Cool. And if you take that assessment and you give them an assessment about where their pavement is in its life cycle stage and what kind of condition it is to keep it safe, long lasting, and looking great, and you do some photos and give it a pacer rating, and then you move it to quote stage, do you think that you're more likely to close that deal if it goes to a quote stage?
Of course.
Cool. And then from quote, when you go to closed one, it's a closed deal. You've closed the deal. Congratulations, everyone, on closing the deal. If it's gone to closed lost, is that lost forever?
No.
Perfect. What happens when you lose a deal when it's not going to close right now?
It just wasn't the right time, and that's still a connection that you've made. You've invested your time and money into it. Your time is always money, and you've built a relationship, so you need to keep chasing it, and one day that will become your job.
Let me be very, very clear with everyone on this, and you probably all know this because it's super logical, but the more that you push that big plate, that wave, the more force that you go at with that, and the more volume that you do, the more successful you're going to be at the end of that pool as that wave comes rolling in. That wave, when it starts rolling in through the other end of the pool, guess what it's rolling as? It's turning into money. And so I asked all of you, what are you doing from an action perspective on the front edge of that to really drive that? If we're handing out, if we're doing 2 quotes a week or 5 quotes a week or 10 quotes a week, just to be clear, it's going to be very hard to make a lot of money. We have to make sure that we're really, really getting the numbers out in order to do that. So I ask you to just do a reflection, write down on a piece of paper for those of you that are in the industry, that already have a business, that are already operating. What is your deal pipeline look like at its quote stage? How much do you have currently out for quote? Write that number down. If you don't know what that number is, you probably want to know that by using a platform like either AK Dash or another platform that you may be using. There are a bunch of different ones. Of course, we promote AK Dash. We built it in-house and we're low bias, but ultimately you should know, you should have a pulse on where you are in each part of this stage as you're growing. Very, very important. Alex Corn, great hat. Alex, do you know how much you have out in quotes at all times, brother?
I do. I have a dashboard.
It's fun to fly a 747 jumbo jet when you can see all of those dashboards, isn't it?
Right now it's $6,975,259.
See how fast that was? Bingo bango, right? Pulled it up right in front. I asked a question. It's right in front of him on a dashboard. Voila. How cool is that? What are you expecting to close from that based upon your conversion rates? What are you expecting to close and over what period?
So in the last year, let's see, we closed one rate, 57%.
57% closing ratio. Can you imagine? Oh, man. Good thing you're a coach, brother. You help other people understand how to do some similar stuff. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going from like an average industry standard of in around that 15 to 20% conversion rate up to like 30%. You know what that is at the end of the year from a numbers perspective?
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's like increasing your profit margin on jobs, you know. A small percentage in your profit margin can have a huge impact on your bottom line. Last year we finished 2023 at 2.25 million. So if the math is good this year, we'll hit 3.
What were you in 2022, the year before?
1.3 million. So we grew 975,000 year over year.
And this is a really interesting question that I'm going to ask you, because this is really fun. Because a lot of people are like, man, I need a whole team of salespeople to get past 2 million. Like I need like 4, 5, 6 guys to do that. How many salespeople are in your company that closed that business?
1.
Who's that?
Well, we have a field sales estimator and I have an operations manager. She's like kind of like an inside sales rep, and there's myself, but like with the official title of in a sales role is 1. So
How fun is that, man? Congratulations, bro.
thanks. Personally, I don't follow up on all the small deals. I chase all the big ones. So anything over 50 grand, I'm personally involved with. Anything less than that, my operations manager pretty much does all the follow-up calls, but we have an automated process for all the follow-ups.
2024 will be, you're in 2024. What year is this? How many years now?
7. So this is year 8, starting year 8 right now.
And your major growth happened in what year? Like you haven't been growing steadily at this kind of 100% rate. So where was the hockey stick curve? What year?
2 years ago we did 750,000. So we grew,
wow,
roughly 500,000 year over year. So the percentages are kind of following. It's growing like 80-90% a year the last 3 years. So
biggest quote that you've put out so far?
We completed a project last year, one project for $750,000. We're wrapping up right now at the Hilton, and that was 450,000 for the Hilton project.
By the way, Alex is coming to Tampa. Can't wait to see you, bro. Can't wait to see your family and you, and give you a big hug, man. It's been too long, but there's going to be some great value that you're going to share too. So I know that we spoke about that earlier today, and it's going to be good for people attending for sure, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Anything else you want to share with any advice that you want to share with anyone on here right now, kind of rolling into this January 10th range, beginning of the year? I know there's a ton of advice you want to give, but
which equipment does he use on his $750,000 job? That's what I want to know.
I mean, that was a lot of different stuff. So we did 17,000 square feet of paving, 1,000 linear feet of curbing. We put in all new ADA access for this manufacturing facility. We did about $150,000 in landscaping and irrigation, and we built 2 bioretention ponds for $140,000. Then we seal coated the whole property and line striped it. So it was a lot of different stuff. But I run a 700-gallon seal coat trailer. So that's pretty much what we can do in a day. We found out is running about 40,000 square feet, give or take, depending on the asphalt quality. But with a crew of like 5 guys, that seems to be pushing their limits right now in terms of, I don't know. If we got a little bit more efficient, we could do more, but we'd run out of material. So we're kind of limited by how much weight we can tow. So the 700-gallon tank is pushing like the 10,000 pound maximum capacity for towing a trailer. And unless I got somebody with like a B-class driver, I would get a truck with a skid mounted skip mounted tank, whatever, like 1,000-gallon tank or something, directly on a truck and not a trailer. If I was going to scale up a little bit. But we also run 130-gallon melter into MA10s to support that. But that's almost a little too slow when you got like a couple thousand feet of crack in a day. That's kind of a bottleneck for us.
How much you spend on marketing?
Not much. I have a marketing company that runs my website. They do unlimited edits, and then they do an SEO campaign, targeted SEO campaign, and I really haven't seen much return on that, but it's $1,250 a month that I pay every month for them to run my SEO. So
Alex, you just haven't moved over to us yet. That's the challenge.
yeah, I'm trying to get my website to the point where I really want to push it. You know, it's a decent website, but it's missing some components. So I'm kind of working on that right now before putting a bunch of money behind the marketing. So
can you imagine, Trent, that he's done this, he's built this? I mean, his website looks great, but there's not a lot of social media activity. You just don't have the capacity to do it, Alex. And so you can imagine, anyway, it's like he's built this company to $2.25 million through literally a couple salespeople in his organization, right? And I mean, for anybody that says the asphalt's not out there, I mean,
yeah. So the way that you can maximize your marketing spend, or how much, like how we spend so little, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is that we focus on building and developing relationships with a single point of contact with multiple revenue streams filtering and funneling into that person. So we don't chase a one-off deal and then chase a one-off deal and then another one. We work with people that have 10, 15 opportunities or properties or more. And then recently I've been focusing on national facilities management companies that contract with something like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or any kind of franchise, and pursuing those opportunities on a national scale to fulfill their California needs. So we don't chase like a single business ever, really. Not to say it's not worthwhile, but you're going to spend a lot more time and money, and time is money. If you're spending time, you're spending money. Chasing a one-off deal. So we go after people that manage big budgets.
Trent, you're muted, by the way, just in case you're muted, your microphone. But this is really an interesting part of the conversation because you're going into your 7th year, Alex?
8th year, yeah. This is starting the 8th year.
So 8th year, and I think this is a perfect point in the conversation just to bring this up. And by the way, sales at Smoothway Asphalt, we're going to come to you. But I just want to bring something up that I think is really, really important. I saw a post by Jake Abernathy about this. He is the president of Dr. Asphalt. And I remember the day he started out, you know, that's the guy that was literally chanting, cheering on his, cheering and chanting as he was landing his first $500 job. And as he was doing that, he was like, man, the belief and conviction rose, right? The bottom line is that he says now, you know, there's these, as you're starting out in the industry, there's these spikes of success where you get really high on the peak and it's very fast and you feel like you're top of the world in the moment. And then there's quite a short time period that you're on the top and then it rolls off and you go back down and you're in this kind of spot that's a little bit lower. And then you have this spike. But as time goes on, year 1, year 2, and you start year 3, and you start to find the patterns and processes that you're nailing, what happens is that the peaks have longer range and they start to become more consistent. And then there's much less of these lows. But in the first period of when you're first getting started, there's a lot of ups and downs. And that's why the failure rate is so high in the early stages of building a business. And so my best recommendations for those of you that are considering getting started, or people who are already in the industry, year 1, year 2, is try and create a pattern at the top of your peaks that are longer. So you ask yourself, what are some of the things that you could do so that you're not sitting in these ups and downs for long periods of time? I've seen people go through 3 years of that shit, and it's no fun. But what if you had processes and systems and people that you could communicate with, like on the round table, that you could spend time connecting with, and to figure out how to shorten that big, steep learning curve to get to your peak and drop off? You want to really create that trajectory sooner than later. And so, Alex, if you can talk to that for a minute, man, like in right when you first got started to where you are now, like, you know, closing $750,000 deals is a very different place than where you were 7 years ago. And, you know, what are some of the things that changed that highs and lows for you and made it more consistent later on in business?
Yeah, I think that's a great topic, a great point you made. There's a lot of challenges in growing the business, right? So you're building your company, you're putting together all your marketing collateral, your branding. Hopefully that's going to drive sales. And as you go out into the market and present yourself to your clients, you win those jobs. You're gonna get some big jobs, and then you're gonna have like a lot of small jobs, right? So in the beginning for us, it was a lot of this sort of our average job size was about $1,200 to $1,500. And you don't need that much personnel to fulfill those requests. But as you get bigger and you chase bigger deals and you get more confident and more experience, you're going to get, like, say you're doing $5,000 jobs and then you get a $30,000 job. It might not be the same crew. You're going to need like 3 or 4 more people than you're used to running. So the challenge, at least my first challenge that I faced was, you know, hiring the first couple of guys and having enough work in the pipeline, staying busy enough to maintain, like, you don't want to outproduce your backlog. So say you have like 30 days worth of backlog and you hire 2 extra guys. Well, now it's only 2 weeks of backlog because you're able to move through that work quicker. So the challenge is balancing the amount of staff that you have, how quickly you're producing revenue. Sometimes in the summers we have like a 3-month backlog, and we operate 12 months out of the year. Right now we're still operating. But you know, as you get more people and your jobs get bigger, there's sort of this like difference between like, hey, I have too much staff, I don't have enough staff. And I think one of the best things that you can do is kind of grow by going after targeting a market that has similar sized jobs. And then it's okay, you're going to do 50,000 square foot parking lots. Now you're going to go after 75 or to 100,000 square foot parking lots. And you're consistently going after bigger things, but they're grouped similarly. So you're not doing like a 2,000 square foot job and then a 100,000 square foot job and then a 5,000 square foot job. And you're bouncing up and down between the different size. You know, it's nice to have small jobs to fill in the gaps, but as you grow, you want your average job size to grow with the size of your company and the amount of personnel you have. Otherwise, you're going to overextend yourself, say get 5 or 6 guys, and then you run out of work, and then you have to lay people off, and then it just becomes really stressful. So is that kind of in line with what you were thinking?
100%. It's like, what are some of the key factors that are really going to drive a business? In my mind, I'm sitting there thinking about this average job size and those pieces of friction that we end up dealing with in earlier stages because we're not making, you know, friction is when you don't have the money. Like, that's when you don't have the money and things get chaotic, right? And so as you start to generate more cash flow and you have more money rolling in, you have the opportunity to grow more and you can compensate further and so on. But what I'm seeing is like some of the key factors that are going to drive a business. I'm thinking about, like, from a numbers standpoint, number of pavement assessments, number of quotes that we're putting out, average job price that we're putting out, and your conversion rate. Like those 4 things right there, pavement assessment, team, write this down, man. Pavement assessments, number of quotes, average job price, and your conversion rate. Those are all really important things to have a pulse on, you know, not just at the end of the year, but through the whole period, so that you're really lining up with where you need to go. If you're putting $2 million on the board, or $1 million on the board, or 500,000, you better have a plan to be able to get there. Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
Everybody just give a little cheer for Alex. That was like freaking awesome. Thanks, Coach Alex. Man, I can't wait for you to drop that value bomb down at the Tampa and so much more, man. Cool. All right. Sales at smoothwayasphalt.com. I cannot see your name at the end. Is it Michael?
Yeah, Michael Wayne. How are you
Hey,
doing?
Michael, what's up, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. You know, I did the coaching with Rob, and
Michael Hood.
yeah, we started.
Uh-oh. We totally lost Michael. He exited. He's gone for a little while. He took a break. He'll be right back. Victor, you got your hand up, brother. Let's go.
Two things. Number one, I never wanted to be a girl till I met Jeanette. I don't envy you. I admire you. You're awesome. Second, when I was in DR, I was sitting on the porch, as they call it here, and I got my first call from my first client for my first contract. It's
Congratulations.
$5,000, and tomorrow I'm talking to a potential who I did work for. I did some drone work for, and that's, if I get that one, it's going to be 34,000 or more, because I haven't checked out the
Amazing.
cracks yet.
I'm so excited for that. Victor, Matthias is ready to take your order whenever you're ready, bro.
I heard.
You were the topic of conversation this morning, Victor. You've been the hardest person to convert in the history of Asphalt Kingdom. 21 years later, can you imagine?
I see. I have a schedule. So,
teasing you, brother. I'm totally teasing you, man. I'm
totally
teasing.
I'm not getting off the pot yet.
Hey, listen, brother, you already have your wings, man. We're ready to go. So we know that you're coming. We know that you're going to be flying. Those wings are going to be, by the way, those wings aren't going to be forward like that. You're going to be going so fast that they're going to be behind you. You're going to be warp speed with blue light coming off the back of you.
I was trying to find a virtual app that I can make it flap like that. So, yeah, I have a schedule to keep, and I cannot not do this.
Got it.
But I'm staying on schedule. And Matthias and I talked, and I had to. This is what happened to me this week. And I told Matthias I worked for 6 hours collecting all this information, over 800 more potential. You know that client list we're talking about. It's like I'm in church right now. We're talking directly. We're talking directly to me. Yeah. And I got off the trail. I had my elephant all cut up, ready to eat, and I went. I found an entire herd. And I thought I was going to eat the whole thing all at once. And that was stressing me out. And I had to say, you know what? I had to step back and realize, wait a minute, I already have something ready. I need to get back to it and start working on it. And that was getting back to the original list. The client that I already spoke to, who already set everything up for me, I just started, I have to start contacting that group and not move on to another group. So
let's go,
I got
man. Keep expanding.
Over ambitious. Sometimes you have to slow down.
Yeah, slow down to speed up, man. That's no problem. Just make sure that you're taking the right actions that you really believe in. And worst case scenario, you flop, you get up, you puff up your chest, and you keep powering forward, man. Failure is all about learning, right? We don't all need to be successful in everything that we do. There's going to be failures, which ultimately allow us to reflect and ultimately create success anyway. So it's all good stuff. One thing I wanted to mention is that, like, you know, I'm listening to you there, Victor, and I'm going, man, you're at the beginning stages of doing this thing, dude. And, you know, all I can say is that right now, be setting up, be doing the things, you're attending the meetings, you're using the stuff, you know, like you're applying the learning, and just keep powering, man. So one piece at a time, bro. I'm proud of you, man.
Well, one of the things that I always done is jump in with my eyes closed without knowing whether there's water in the pool. This slow steps that I'm taking now, the knowledge that I have received here is literally, I'm going to, this is the college for me that I never attended, in terms of education. And the knowledge that I gain here it's going to keep me from making some huge mistakes, which will make me more successful when I finally talk to Matthias for that conversation that he wants to have.
100%. Well, whenever you're ready, we're right here with you. I want to jump into something. Well, not whenever you're ready. You're already ready. We're here. We're all working together. We're familia. Let's go. As for, I wanted to bring up something. By the way, this is probably one of the coolest. You've heard of sales objections, everyone? Have you ever heard somebody say to you, I got to talk to my wife, or I got to talk to my partner? Have you heard that before? Raise your hand if you've heard that. I got to talk to my wife, or I got to talk to my husband, or I got to talk to my business partner. You've heard that before, right? All right, cool. Do you want to hear the best way to deal with that objection? Raise your hand if you want to hear the best way to deal with that objection. Anybody know what the best way is to deal with that objection? Keep your hand up if you know the best way to deal with that objection. Matt, I'm bringing you on, then I'm bringing Nick on. Come on, actually, I'm going to bring you both on. Let's get Nick on here too. All right, so Matt, what's happening, brother?
Let me get my mute off there. Yeah, so I mean, I did this because I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but you leave them with a question.
Let's role practice. Let's role practice. So I'm the dude that owns a parking lot, and it's a storage facility, and I've got a partner that I need to talk to, but I haven't told you that yet. So we have the conversation, and you pitch it like, all right, are we going to move forward with this deal? Let's move forward with this deal. Say that.
Great. Hey, Judd, I'm glad you let us have an opportunity to get you a price quote on your storage unit. I think the product and the material and the service that we provide here will improve and enhance your property amazingly. Your tenants are going to come in and they're going to think, hey, this guy's caring about this. Not only is there safety and security, and now the property looks good. It keeps riffraff away because they think that you're watching out for your property. So, Judd, what I want to do is say, the price I'm giving you for this parking lot restoration is probably going to be 15-20% better than any of my competitors. And I want you to, well, I just want you to
do
feel
that, Matt. Never do that on that sales. Do not cut the price. I haven't asked you to cut the price.
It's spewed out
Let me cut the
before I
price.
know. I know. I want you to take that, take that in consideration when you're making this decision, and let's get this on the schedule.
All right. Well, listen, Matt, this sounds fantastic, man. I really appreciate you coming out and giving me this quote and everything. Now, everything looks good here to me, sounds good, but I've got a business partner that I've got to speak with, and I got to pass everything through my business partner to make this decision here. Otherwise, I'm not following what I should.
Well, I can go on my phone right now and email him the quote right now, so he has it right at his fingertips. And we can give him a call and right now if you want. That way we can get this locked in and get you onto the schedule.
Yeah, that would be okay. The only thing is that he's in the Caribbean right now in Anguilla with Judd and hanging out with him. So unfortunately, he won't be able to get on the phone right now.
Okay.
You can email it over though. Why don't you email it over? I'll talk to him a little bit later on this evening. We have a call set up around 6, and then I'll get back to you.
Excellent. This is what I'm anxious to see what you got. Yeah, so that's great. I'll email it to him right now, and I'll resend it to you just so it's fresh in your inbox at the top of your inbox there, and look forward to doing business with you.
Hey, fantastic. Appreciate it, Matt. Cool.
Was that his business partner or his spouse?
Business partner, storage facility.
Okay.
Business partner. Yep. So, Nick, let's roll. So ask me for the order. Tell me, let's close this thing. Let's do the deal.
Cool. Let's do the deal.
Nick, I can't really do it right now. I got to speak with my business partner, and I got to pass everything through the business partner here. We're partners in business for 13 years, and I just got to make sure I'm following that.
No, absolutely. I completely understand that. If you were to show him this proposal right now, what do you think would stop him from saying yes?
There you go.
He would phenomenal. I think that right now he'd probably just want to make sure that everything looks good from a savings perspective and fits the budget.
Absolutely. So that's as far as I got. I don't really know where to go after that. But I know
can help you.
that key part.
Hey, Judd, let's do this deal, brother. Let's go.
Matthias, thanks for coming out and doing this estimate and everything, but I got to really think about this for a little bit here, and I got to pass this by my partner. We've been in business 13 years, and I got to talk to him a little bit later today.
Totally understand. No worries, Judd. Hey, if he was sitting here right now, what would you say if he said no? Would you do it anyway?
Yeah, I'd probably do it anyway.
Well, let's do it, man. Come on, let's go. You know it's smart. It's the best deal.
Or this, Matthias. Hey, Matthias, let's do this deal. Let's get this signed right now. Here, and here. Let's do this thing.
Hey, Judd, I appreciate what you provided here. I've got no more questions. The only thing that's holding me back at this very moment, just so you know, is my business partner. I got to run it past them. It's part of our procedure here. So I'll take the quote and I'll come get back to you tomorrow if that's cool.
Hey, Matthias, I totally understand where you're coming from. I have a business partner as well, actually, so I get that totally. So let's say that, Matthias, by chance, you're with your business partner at a steakhouse, a nice Morton steakhouse, and you're cutting into one of those juicy filet mignons, and you got a $300 bottle of red wine that's sitting in front of you on the table. And you look over at your partner and you say, hey, man, we've got this good opportunity to be able to do this job here with Asphalt Kingdom on our parking lot. And what happens if you looked at your partner and your partner said no? What would you end up doing? You wouldn't do it, or you would do it?
I would probably sell my partner on it because I know it's the right thing to do. I just want to make sure I get the word in with them so they know what we're doing, because it's me running the company anyway. I just want to make sure that I give them that open dialogue.
So let me be clear right now. You like everything that you've seen, right?
Yeah.
And you'd still go ahead with it regardless of whether your partner said no. You just want to do it out of respect to them, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Totally understand. So let me go ahead and get this deal signed here and here and here and here. And when you go to meet with him, you can bring that deal to him to make sure that he signs off on it as well. But at least we'll get this thing started now. How does that sound?
Makes sense. Yeah, I kind of want to have this thing done anyway, so makes sense. Thanks.
Cool. Well, let's get it drafted up right now. Totally understand.
Okay.
So there's two ways that we went at that, team. Matthias goes in for the hard sell. If for whatever reason the person isn't going to do it, get things drafted up, get things moving, get it in his hand. He's already told me that he's going to do it regardless. He just wants to be respectful to his partner. And there's certain times where somebody will not move with the wife without having the wife's consent or husband's consent and or partners, but at least get the documentation in their hands so that they have something to show them and can get it already signed off so that they can go and close the deal. Remember, you're silver plattering everything for your people. You have to silver platter, right? Think of yourself as a concierge service. Think about the acronym that we said earlier in this meeting, which is CARE. Create a remarkable experience. People like to laugh too, by the way. Bringing humor into the sales process and overcoming objections. Somebody says the price is too high. Man, I think the price is really high as well, actually. To be honest. The price is really high. It's so high that we're a very successful company being able to provide you with the quality that you deserve and to be able to service your account at the highest possible level. That's why our price is higher. Are you looking for somebody to come by and just do a quick fly-by-night job? Or are you looking for somebody to come to be your payment asset management company for life that's going to provide outstanding quality and service to you through this whole process? Because if that's what you're looking for, that's the kind of company we are, and that's the service we provide. Let's get this deal signed. Please sign here, here, and here. Let's get started. Assumptive closes are pretty awesome. Assume that somebody wants to move forward all the time. Just assume. What's the worst case? What's the worst case, right? Cool. Some golden nuggets there, team. Get some good stuff out of that. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, we're going to be doing breakout sessions, by the way, in Tampa as well. We'll be doing role practicing and breakout sessions, so you guys will be able to sharpen your spears and get a lot more familiar with ways to overcome some of the most common objections, price, timing, etc. All right, Michael Hood, I think you're here now. We got you back, man. You hung
Hey.
up on us, brother. You hung up on us. What happened?
Yeah, it was classic timing, man. My PC said it's over, Bucko. But no, I was taking my coaching advice, and so I had my first property in mind. I went and approached them, and right as I went in the door, they're kind of busy, and the guy looked at me real irritated. He's like, "Hey, whatever you're doing here, we don't win any." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Well, why are you here?" I said, "Well, I was going to do the line striping." He's like, "Well, hold on a moment." So then I'm hanging out, and then he finally comes around, and immediately comes out and starts pointing at like bricks on the wall, saying he was unhappy with some cracks and pointing at some other stuff. And I was like, and my first reaction was, well, I don't want to do any of that. But then I was like, well, that's not what the coaching teaches me. Let me do it the the Asphalt Kingdom way. So I took in all that work, and then I turned around and I started hustling. And yeah, I managed to find people local, some pros to come out and help me out and get some of those little pinches. So yeah, it's coming together. Success. So this week was a success. There you go. Day one, right? So
congratulations, man. I'm stoked for you, buddy. You feel
thank
good?
you. Thank you. And then a part of that, the guy was like, hey, I want you to fix the pothole out there in the parking lot. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I can get the aqua fault on it. Well, this whole parking lot's hosed and very damaged. And then he's saying, well, I don't even like the way the runoff's going. Like, I don't like the water's going to the left. I want it to go to the right. So I immediately do the same thing. I start calling in the local pros. I met with one of the local contractors, the Colt Asphalt here in Dallas. His salespeople came out, and then immediately they started bringing up some other stuff like, oh, we can change the drainage, build some holes, catch some reserves. And I was like, quote it all up, and send it over. So things are looking up. Yeah.
Are they going to quote it over to you and you're going to sub them in to do the work? Is that what's going to go on?
Yeah. They're going to quote it into me. Yeah. And then I'll just do that, a little 10% cut and mark it on up and pass it in.
Yeah, cool. So there's some simple lead handoff stuff that you can do as well, right? In the case that you didn't want to actually manage the project like that, if you didn't want to sub them in, you could always just do lead handoff. Just say, hey, listen, I'm going to let these guys do the work on this project, and they give you a cut on that top line revenue that they end up getting. Just make sure you have your contract, your deal signed up and sealed. Rob can help you with that too. He's got access to the vault and stuff. There's some stuff in there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, but also with the Colt people, he's saying, hey, I see you do the line striping. You can do that part, you can take on that part of the work.
Nice.
But I was like, I was telling him I just wanted to shadow his team and to see it from one side to the other,
Good for you.
Because I haven't actually done that, so.
Congrats, Michael, man. Appreciate you coming on and sharing that experience, and congratulations to you, brother.
Yeah, small wins. Thanks, gang.
Let's go. Success attracts success. We're at the top of the hour. The AK roundtable is kind of winding down into that time where we're going to pop off. It's amazing how fast an hour flies by when golden nuggets are flying through the air, isn't it? Raise your hand if you agree with that one. It's like an hour is gone. And I got to see Trent for 2 hours today. Lucky guy. Cool. All right. Any last question? We're going to do one more question. If anybody has a question, let's roll into that. Victor, you've got a question. You're muted.
Yes. I was talking to Matthias yesterday and was trying to figure out, you typically, is there a standard, for example, I got a 10,000 square feet, 20,000, 30,000, and so on. What is a typical markup rate?
For paving, for seal coating, for what?
Seal coating. Let's go with seal coating.
When you say typical markup rate, are you referring to the actual cost of the goods to markup?
I'm going with your calculator when you put in your percentage markup rate.
You've got to go deeper into that, though. As a company, you need to understand your true underlying costs through the process. I know Skylar's smiling like crazy right now.
Victor, let me tell you too, like now those true underlying costs may not be too great, but once you grow enough and you have enough moving parts in those underlying costs, and you take down so I can go really, really, really deep into this right now. And I know we're really limited on time, but I'll give you my really short version of you have the cost of material, which is the actual cost that it, costs you to put the material on the job. Then you have your recognized cost of man hours and labor on that job. And then your first unrecognized cost would be your labor burden, which I typically try and calculate at 40% per man hour. But then we can take the third recognized cost, which is operating expenses. So it'd be your rent, your electric, your, AK dash, all those things, divided by your number of working days. Yep. Divided by number of working days. And then you have the whole side of unrecognized costs that we haven't even gotten into yet, where this is a deep section that you can go really far, because you have, like Judd says, depreciation, and you have capital expenditure, and then you have things that you don't think about. Like, let me put into perspective for you. I went and looked at my equipment repairs and maintenance last year that I never recognized, of $15,000. That is like $1,200 a month. That is $33 a day. And that's over a 365-day working year, which we don't have in this industry. So you need to divide that out by 150 days. And then my overhead of $26,000 a month, which is kind of low, it's somewhere in there. $26,000 a month divided by 365 days is $789.84. But that's on a 365 working day expenditure. We have 150, so it's $1,900 and some dollars over my 150 working days. So you need to profit $2,000 to even break even. I'm trying really hard not to swear on these jobs. So if you're going to go out and complete a task for the day and you're selling a job at 50% margin after this expense, so you're going to have to sell it at $4,000, 50% gross profit, and you still haven't made $1. For me, that's my example.
You really looked at those numbers because you memorized every one of them. I know you're not looking at a spreadsheet right now.
Oh, I'm really, no, I'm not. I'm really deep.
You're fired up about it.
Victor.
I actually, yes, sir.
Victor. You see, this is the challenge with the majority of businesses that exist, is that they don't understand their numbers. And so what happens is they go out and they charge 8 cents a square foot for seal coating, and they make no money, and they don't last, and they're gone. So they don't last.
Let me tell you what, I can tell you it cost me 8 cents a foot just for material. I know, like Alex was saying, roughly I'm putting down 1,242 square foot I can seal per man hour at a 40% labor burden, which cost me roughly $27.84 an hour per man, with unrecognized cost of trucks and everything else yet. So when you see this generic 25 cents or 60 cents, and I start looking at my numbers and I still can see these things, and people are like, holy shit, you're selling at 65 cents. I'm like, yeah, dude. And there's probably still a lot of unrecognized costs in that. But we've been able
to make money.
Well,
yeah, 100%. And the reason people still pay it is we go back to these original things, like Alex was saying, like you build a brand big enough, you do good enough work, you deliver the service well enough, you're professional enough, like all of these baseline things that may seem so trivial. And it's things of like making sure that when you're branding, it all lines up. You don't hand them a business card that mixed matches the truck and the website or whatever it is, because we consume 3,000 brands a day, and each one is recognized as soon as there's any alteration, it's recognized as a separate brand. So for your brand to be prominent and to actually cohere and make it stand out in your community, every single image of it needs to be identical.
So this right here, what we're speaking about right now could go on for a whole other hour
Yeah.
or two or three or four or five.
Next week.
Straight up this. Well, here's what I'm going to say, Victor, and I'm going to be cut to the chase on this. Skylar is a coach. Our coaches in the company, the time that we spend here is invested to help everybody as much as we can, but somewhere somebody needs to get paid. Do you follow what I mean? Like somewhere there's an exchange of value, there's push pull. And so what Skylar shared right there, when you're getting coached by people who understand this stuff, that are still learning to understand it even better, but know so much more than anybody else about this. When I say anybody else, the majority, it's important to invest into that. And so when we talk about education, this is the free education, Victor, but when we want to dig deep into actually understanding the depth of it and have help and tutored through that process so that you're not making these costly mistakes that are going to cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next few years.
Literally.
It's a good thing to invest into early. We don't charge membership or subscription fees or any of that stuff to be a part of this, but coaches do need to get paid, and it's a good way of exchanging value. So I just wanted to drop that on there. But Skylar, thank you for dropping that, man, that piece right there. It's so important. I know you and I have been communicating about this stuff, and I owe you a call for this weekend to dive deeper into it. But you can obviously, everyone, you can see that Skylar has been pretty entrenched in this stuff, and I'm smiling because it's
really deep.
20 that makes the difference.
I know my team, like I can tell you too, one thing, my team is 22.22 gallons per 1,000 square foot. Like these are how I know my numbers, and I'm sitting here begging for more, right? Because I operate at an expanded enough level that one little thing is a huge deal to me. Just like that, maintenance and equipment and repairs, it's $33 a day. It cost me that I'm unrecognizing. And if you want to pay me $30 a day, $33 a day, I'd be welcome to take it for you. So, recognize that.
Good stuff, man. I love the value. Everyone, listen, we're going to rock and roll. That was a great way to end that. It's a huge golden nugget right there. Understand your numbers. Otherwise, you may not make any money. Who here wants to make money? Raise your hand. Come on. All right, let's make some money. Let's do it. Invest in yourself. All right. Again, AK Roundup, January 22nd, 2024, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll see you in Tampa. Looking forward to seeing you all next week, same time, same place. But before we bounce off of here, there is one last thing that we need to do. Does anybody know what that last one thing is that we need to do before we chat? Evan?
Word of the day.
What is it?
Word of the day.
Correct. Well done, John. Love it. I think that was John. I recognize
Yeah.
your voice. That's awesome. Hey, I got to get 2 hours with you today too, bud. This is great.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you an inside word.
An inside word?
Yeah.
All right. What is it?
Trousers.
Oh shit! This is funny. Can I tell this story?
Sure.
Maybe not. Yeah, I can. So John was supposed to be on a coaching call this morning with Dom and I, and he was, 3 or 4 minutes late, we'll just say. And I called him from my cell, and John was, he had, I guess, slept in a little bit. And when I got John up, he came to the Zoom meeting, and we started off the meeting where we stand up to do both ways to get him going, because you could tell he had just woken up. And I said, all right, let's stand up. And John stayed sitting in front of his computer. John had no pants on. Oh, it was great. It was awesome. It honestly, Dom and I were just made our day, man. It was awesome. But John, you did such a great job with the role practicing and everything this morning and getting things lined up. You powered through that meeting, and I'm super excited for your journey, man. I know you're going to do great things. So congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Good thing he didn't do that tonight.
Yeah, it's a true thing, but all awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna go to the one word close. Here we go, Matthias. Let's do it.
Optimistic.
Alex Coring.
Accelerate.
Victor,
Golden.
Dan. One word close. I don't know if it's Dan. I'm sorry. I might.
Enthusiast.
Excellent.
Olivier, my name. Okay. Hi.
Olivier, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Olivier. Je m'excuse.
That is my second name, yeah, Judd. No problem.
Okay. That's my, we speak French, you know. Je parle français quand je vois Olivier. Voilà. Cool. So, Mr. Jonathan, let's go. One word close, buddy.
Education.
Let's go, Billy.
Family.
Good. John, trousers. We got that one. Chris.
Swooping.
Swooping. Wow. That's
Swooping. Swooping. Taking that money.
awesome. Let's go, buddy. Brian.
Indefatigable.
You know, bro. I see you. Hope you're good, bro. Trent, one word close.
Ready.
Cool. Matt,
Professional.
I see the keepings over there. One word close.
Excel.
Is Tracy there?
Right there.
One word
Rejuvenate
close.
it.
Yeah.
Rejuvenate it.
Awesome. Tommy.
Excited.
Skyler.
Hey, Tommy.
Development.
Evan.
Trust.
Nick.
Convert.
Cool. Mine is gonna be process. Cool. Well, I guess it's that time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the AK Roundtable. I had a really good night tonight. Raise your hand if you had a good one. Everybody had a good
Oh, yeah.
time. Cool. All right, excellent. Hopefully, you guys got some golden nuggets that you can take away and apply to your life and continue to
Thanks,
build
Tyler,
and
for the nugget.
scale your business. See you next week, same time, same place, right here on the AK Roundtable. Cheers.
Thanks all. Thank you. See you guys next week.